Number 1. Am I doing enough? Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. In this case with the ENFJ, this tends to relate to people and relationships, but can definitely extend beyond that into their life in general. If things get really bad, it can mutate into the question, am I enough? The ENFJ type is one, for better or worse, bound to people. In healthy times, it isn't a problem, it's a joy, but it can easily become a burden when mismanaged. To be a type with dominant FE is not simply to be good with people, it is to be non-consensually affected by them, their moods, their emotions, their ups and downs. ENFJs are not the best at self-regulation either. Moderating their behavior, having balance, taking their foot off the gas, not pushing themselves too hard, all those things are tricky. The other issue is simply that they can do a lot. They are eternally aware of that potential. So the question of whether they're doing enough to keep their relationship strong, to keep people happy, to look after themselves, or just their life in general, is often a major source of anxiety. Number 2. How do I put my foot down without putting my foot in it? The only people who get upset about you setting boundaries are the ones who are benefiting from you having none. If you want to understand the FE brand of agreeableness, think about it in terms of the negative. It makes a person sensitive, even hypersensitive, to feelings of awkwardness and interpersonal discomfort. In that sense, it's less about them desiring harmony and more about them hating disharmony and the feelings that conjures up. Because of that, it's easy for them to build their life around this approach. That causes a big issue because of the nature of the FE approach. When people are used to you bending more, or, more likely, don't even notice the subtle and delicate dance of such things, they will be shocked in moments when you speak up. They will think you're having an out-of-character moment, or that you were two-faced the entire time before that. So ENFJs will often find themselves totally stuck in these moments, feeling like the only choices they have are to risk burning bridges or just suck it up and suffer in silence. This question haunts them because it speaks to an eternal dilemma they experience. As with every type, in order to grow, we have to sacrifice using our main functions too much. Number 3. Who am I when I'm on my own? Loneliness expresses the pain of being alone, and solitude expresses the glory of being alone. When you're a relational person, your relationships become a part of your identity, a part of you. This means that you are who you are relative to others. There is nothing wrong with this, unless, or rather until, there are difficult times in relationships, or those relationships break down completely. Suddenly, that can become a lonely place. If we flip the ENFJ functions, we get an ISTP. Those are, archetypically, people who enjoy a lot of solitude, pursuing their projects, hobbies, and passions largely on their own, being totally content with their own company, and often preferring it. It is a great move for ENFJs to incorporate and integrate this side of themselves. It's a road to balance for the ENFJ. They can then approach their relationships with a certain amount of detachment from outcome, to invest freely without necessarily expecting equal effort back. And if the other person isn't pulling their weight, they can pull away knowing that they're not dependent on that relationship. If you are an ENFJ, then please become entirely dependent on this channel and subscribe.